Hello! Today I watched a video by James, or Tetsubo57 I think it's called, and in this video he did a questions and answers video, and one of the questions was about whether or not it's possible to morally become a billionaire or millionaire or whatever, and he answered that it was possible and cited Damien Hirst, I think, as like an artist who has made a lot of money, but it's through art, and art is, you know, a perfectly viable way of making money. If someone wants to pay that amount of money for your art, then it's not your fault, I guess. It's just the amount your art is worth. That's perfectly a moral exchange, I guess. Except that I remember, before I saw the art exhibition, which did have the skull covered in diamonds and stuff in the exhibition, I remember there was news articles and stuff, because I think David Hockney was saying that he disagreed with the way that Hirst manages his art. He thinks it's not moral or right, to paraphrase, because Damien Hirst has assistants that work for him and do the art for him. Sometimes, you know, like he has lots of assistants doing circles paintings for him, and even the skull covered in diamonds, he had the idea, but then he commissioned it to be done for him. He didn't do it himself. I suppose you could argue that he couldn't do it as precisely as a jeweller or something, you know, and the idea was his, so he has the idea and it gets made. So it's his art because he's the one having the ideas, right? But what if someone came to me and they said, I would like to commission you to do a painting of a green horse on a red background, and I did that. It's mine because I did it, but they're the one who had the idea, right? So I don't know, is art, are you the artist for having the idea, or are you the artist for doing it, or what? If you have assistants, is that fair, or is it not? Because what I gather from this is that David Hockney is saying that he doesn't have assistants making his artwork and painting for him. He does it all himself, so he thinks that he's more moral than Damien Hirst because he does it all himself. He does it. It's his artwork. He thinks of the idea. He does the painting. It's his. And he's a living, rich artist as well, by the way. He makes considerably a lot. So then that calls into question which of them is more moral, which one is doing the art, who the artist is. Should the assistants be getting more credit than they're getting, you know, because I can't tell you a single name of any of his assistants, and I went to the exhibition, so hey, I didn't see an artist's assistant name around. Yeah, but then I guess also artists have had assistants for years and years and years. I think it was when I went to France, I saw an exhibition by Raphael, I think, and he had 3 assistants, if I'm correct. So, obviously, having assistants is something that's happened for ages and ages and ages. So if having assistants is immoral and wrong in the art world, then that's a practice that's happened for ages. How would we decipher whose art is moral, whose is not, and who owns what art, if it's been happening for so long that, you know, it's just integral? You know, masterpieces from 100 years ago, who do you credit them to? How would you even know if it was just common practice a long time ago to have apprentices in the art world? I mean, so where do you go from that? But what I guess I'm trying to reach at is that you could consider his way of working to be morally becoming a rich artist. Although, I guess, if you want to talk about the richness in that, you'd have to also consider whether or not it's moral, well, whether or not he morally placed his art into auctions or not. How, you know, if the art world can be played, if art is now a currency, where some rich people don't have art because they like it, they have it because it's worth a lot. and they can, move it around the auctions, buy and sell, as if it's a currency, an investment. It's no longer because they liked the artwork. You'd have to, I guess, consider those factors as to whether or not you thought the riches part of it was moral. But yeah, what I was just go back to it. It's a matter of opinion, I guess, as to whether or not an artist is moral or not. Especially compared to another one, you could say Hockney is more moral than Hirst, or you could say they're both artists in their own merit and whatever they're doing it, whatever way they're doing it. Or you could say the art world is now being played and it's not about being good or bad for anything at the moment. Or you could say a number of things, and it would be quite hard to decipher. Therefore, a universal description of how to become a moral and rich artist both at the same time, since everyone's arguing about how you can be a moral artist in total. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Gosh. I think that's enough talking about it then.